People are solving tactics daily and they still blunder in one move and they don't even know when they have a tactic in their games. But why? I'm going to be giving away in this video the secrets that I've used to move from a simple average chess player to now a chess master, guys. From stock to master. I'm going to be putting it away in this video. The difference between tactical vision, tactical awareness. So stay tuned, take some notes, and we're getting right into it, guys. Remember, implement this. Let's go. Guys, I used to solve a lot of puzzles, but then start a game immediately after and blunder like crazy. And I'm like, what's happening? I'm doing puzzles, but I'm not seeing the tactics in the games. But if I load up more puzzles, I'm going to find them. It doesn't matter how difficult I made them. They just don't go over to my actual games. And then that's basically where I discovered that there's a difference between tactical vision and tactical awareness. Now, with my title, let me just, brush off my shoulders. This is where tactical awareness kicked in, and I found the difference. So, if I tell you guys that there is a tactic in this position, you will start looking, you're like, wait, what's the tactic? But in your games, you're back to like robotic thinking. Now you have natural moves and you have moves that you could actually look to see if you can punish your opponents. So how do we know when to actually start looking for tactics? And I'm going to be giving you guys some starter points. For me, whenever I see that I can give my opponent a check, I double check it. Because that means that my opponent's king is vulnerable. Same thing vice versa. If your king is exposed to checks, then your king is vulnerable. That can lead to a lot of tactics. So if I'm in a position and I can give my opponent a check, I'm like, wait, is there something here? The second thing is, if my opponent has unprotected or unstable pieces, example like this one here, if you have these pieces, it could also participate in a tactic happening. Again, this is building not like your tactical vision, but your tactical awareness, so that you know that there's something in the position. So if I was playing my actual game, the first thing that I see is, oh wait, my development is not complete. I need to connect my rooks. So I want to play this move, bishop to d2. But I'm like, wait, there is a check. This king is vulnerable, and he has an unprotected piece here. Can I make something work? Remember, in the game, I don't know. But I'm looking. So I'm like, all right, I see a good move. How can I look for a better one? Is queen to c4 move that I can try? And the thing is, by you looking at this, you start to see variations. And I'm going to be telling you guys how to calculate more later on in this video. But after king to h8, look at this. Rook to d1. And just like that, you're winning a piece. Black is unable to protect this bishop or stabilize this piece because of the hanging piece on b7. Combination of this is what's going to help you again, guys, to spot tactics. The same thing happens if he blocks with the rook. After rook to d1, guess what? This queen is pinning that rook to the king. So the rook is unable to recapture this bishop. Just like that, white is up a piece, because he spotted the fact that black's position was unstable. Vulnerable king, unprotected piece, looked for a tactic. We're going to be going into another example. Let's see if you guys are really taking notes. Let's go. And yes, guys, black is absolutely cooked. There is no way for black to save that piece. It's impossible. We're going to be taking that bishop on the next move, and that's game. Like, literally just take the piece. Done. Okay, so it's black to play in this position. What would you play? Remember, white really has no threats, but you have to check it. You have to be like, can he take my bishop? Oh wait, no. I just take back because he's pinned. Am I in danger? I'm exposed to a check, but you have to scan the board, guys. If you realize that there's no threats, you would just continue back with natural moves. My development isn't complete. Let me get my bishop into the game. And then you check after and you're like, how am I not seeing this? But if it was a chess.com puzzle, you would have spotted it immediately. The first thing I look at is like, all right, I'm about to make a natural move, a very objective move. Is there something better? Am I missing anything? And for the tactics, just go forcing move mode, guys. Remember, this is just for checks. If you're starting out, Don't miss check tactics. For this one, this is your check. Rook takes e3. And just like that, bishop to h4. Game is done. Once a king is exposed to checks, tactics just sometimes happen out of nowhere, guys. Alright? This queen cannot move. It's absolutely pinned to the king. And just like that, the game is over. Just like that, guys. And the thing is, you can't even decline it because this is also a fork. Okay? Now, we're going to be understanding how to calculate when there is no checks, which is where most persons start to struggle. Now, the thing I see destroy a lot of chess improvement from players is one move thinking, which is like this guy here. Me see queen, I attack queen, and then they get surprised. Don't play chess like this, alright? If you're one of those guys who cannot get out of this trap of just thinking in just one move at a time, you're killing your chess. I was once like this. And I didn't start improving until I really broke out of this habit. Just have to force yourself, guys. Like, guess what? After you move the rook and attack this guy's queen, if he doesn't resign, he has to play something. So try and predict what he's going to play. Don't just play your move and be like, when the queen goes somewhere, I'll think of my next move. As a matter of fact, I would see persons as black and just panic here and just like sack the queen here. Like, oh my God, I hate getting attacked, and you know, bad stuff's happening. And they don't even realize that their queen can go to b3. But that's not even the purpose of what I'm showing this for. It's the mindset shift that basically puts you on a different level when it comes down to calculating, especially when there are no checks. You need to master counterattacking. So with counterattacks, it's you attacking a piece of the same value or greater. So when somebody attacks my queen, I don't practice to run away, right? It's not like you're a headless chicken. Come on, guys. He attacks your queen. I'm like, I'm going to counterattack. What happens if I attack his queen? And this is how I want you guys to check variations. Because remember, it's not like draft or checkers where, you know, you just have to take something. No, like here, he attacks your queen. We don't have to move the queen. We can just counterattack his. Attack a piece again of the same value or greater. Now, we all know our forcing moves in chess, which is our checks, our captures, and our threats. When you can combine two or more forcing moves, I've never, like, that's going to be like super dangerous. But if you can combine two forcing moves, guys, even better, like a check and a capture. Like for this one, it is basically it's a capture and an actual threat, which is rook takes e2, attacking the queen. And guess what? If the queen takes, then queen takes rook, and we're up on exchange. Who is laughing now? Alright? Just like that. Don't just play one move and expect that the game is going to end there. And for persons who have learned nothing thus far from this video, if your calculation stops there, you're cooked, you're stuck, you're not going to be improving if you don't readjust. Right? I look at this and I'm like, okay, that's what I want to do. I want him to take so that I can take his rook. But remember what I said at the starting of this video. This is why I'm using examples so that it actually is a lot clearer. You have to look out for if your king is exposed to checks and for unprotected pieces, vulnerable pieces, things that are not really stable in the position. We just disconnected our rooks. So I'm not like, what happens if my opponent responds to me? When I'm checking this, I'm like, I'm about to take his rook. Sorry, his bishop. What if he doesn't respond to me? What if he watches Raheem's videos and he looks for counterattacks? Do I have any vulnerable pieces that he can make a counterattack with? And just like that, queen to f6 here attacks your rook. And guess what? Your queen is still under attack. This is going to be like your final test. But this is not about you guys solving tactics. I just want you guys to get the awareness to know what you're actually missing in your games. When you're calculating, you're going to be missing moves if you're not understanding counterattacks. Second, look out for your unprotected pieces. This is how your opponents can gain tempo moves, like time in chess, that can actually lead to them getting a serious advantage. This is your final test for this phase of the game. What would you play for black here? Average player here is still again not really adjusting to the new mindset, which is stop playing reactive chess. Like the only time I start to react to my opponent is if I have exhausted all my counterattacks. Like my counterattacks aren't strong enough, so I have to resort to just going back to listening to what my opponent says. He's like, Raheem, move your queen, and I'm like, okay. So here, he attacks the rook. How can you perform a counterattack on this queen? And this move, rook to d6 here, flips the script one last time, and just like that, white is going to be forced to resign or just play this game on down the exchange. If he takes your queen, then we simply take his queen, and if he count the material, we're completely up on exchange. Alright, it's a knight and a rook for 2 rooks. Also, if he moves his queen, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to just like capture on d5 or just play the game normally. Just don't hang your queen. But just to make sure that we are on the same path, check the counterattacks first. It doesn't work, but you check moves like rook to d3 first or rook takes f2. Just scan the board. If they don't work, then you're like, alright, fine, my counterattacks don't work. Let me just take a pawn. Let me just offer a queen. It doesn't matter. It's the thought process that brings the consistency. Let's get into the next one. This is going to be the super test. Hope you guys are passing. Alright, time for the ultimate test. Let us see if you can think like a chess master. Pawn takes c6 was just played, and guess what? White realized that black's king is vulnerable to a check, and we're about to win the bishop. But black does not respond to us. Black also understands counterattacking and uses this. So if he takes, we're just going to be playing this move, queen to b3, and just like that, we're winning a complete piece, guys. Like, it's charity. Alright? Now, black understands counterattacking. We took, and he did this. Pawn to c2. What would you guys play in this scenario? Are you like, oh my god, my queen is under attack, and you try to react? Or you look for a counterattack first? You need the consistency. You don't want to just like be playing games and, you know, like taking everything by chance. You need an actual system. So here, we check pawn to c7 first, because one, it's a counterattack on his queen. If it doesn't work, then I check all the options. I'm like, what else can I do that is forcing? Like, how can I counterattack something else? Maybe his king. Does bishop check work? Now, if those moves don't give me like an advantage or just, you know, give me like a piece, then I look to just respond back to what my opponent wants, which is, all right, I'm not seeing an advantage with bishop check, and I'm not seeing how I'm winning a piece, so I'm going to play queen takes c2. Thought process, same thing again. If black responds to us, then we're going to be winning his piece with queen c4, again with the double attack. But black understands what causes tactics. The vulnerable king and an unprotected piece, something that is not stable. So he tries to give us another counterattack. He's like, alright, my bishop is under attack. I can't attack any of white's pieces, but his king is exposed to a check. And he puts in this move. Bishop to c5 check. Alright, and the thing is, if we play king to h1, black successfully saved the position. Pawn takes c6, and there's no way for white to win a piece. Check, black just moves his king. So again, this is to improve your tactical awareness. You don't just want it to be a case where somebody's like, it's white to play here, what would you play? And then you go back to your actual game and you don't make it, you know, transition over. So, in this scenario again, we call these automatic moves, we don't play those. Once we see a natural move, we're like, is there better? Do I have to play this? And remember again, guys, tactics comes about when there are sometimes vulnerable kings and unprotected pieces. So we try to destabilize our opponent's position. So now this move, pawn to d4, creates a hanging piece. What do I mean by this? This bishop is currently protected, so we can't do any tactics with it currently. Pawn to d4, bishop takes d4, and then king to h1. What's the difference? The bishop is under attack, and we're also threatening queen to c4. And just like that, the game is done. This game is 100% done, guys. If bishop takes, then queen to c4, and we're winning the piece. Also realize that tactics are going to come down to your pattern recognition. So, pawn takes c6, what would you guys play? And some persons would already realize that this is the exact puzzle that they started off with when they clicked on this video, which the answer is queen to c4 and rook to d1. That's the thing. When you start to see similar tactics and puzzles in your actual games, it's building your pattern recognition. So like the more you see, the easier it's going to be for you to guys to solve tactics like super quickly. Rook to d1 and just the same thing, guys. Like you can't protect the bishop as this one is going to be falling. If you found this video useful, you could just leave a like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, guys. Ensure that you're implementing this and be more aware when tactics are in the chess position. Take care.